Dear friends, in this lecture 3, we are going to develop a stoichiometric table to find out the concentration of the reactants and products. So preparation of the stoichiometric table, the simplest method is given in the formula by considering the species and by noting down their initial concentrations, then the concentrations remaining after time t. So depending upon these 2-3 parameters, we are going to prepare a stoichiometric table which can give you the concentration of the respective species, that is from the reactant side as well as product side. But before preparing the stoichiometric table, some preliminary things we are going to explain in this particular lecture, that how we are going to identify the reaction order, definition of the reaction order for the elementary reactions. So two types of the reactions are there, elementary and non-elementary. So how that particular reaction order you are going to identify, and how you are going to read that one. Then the second point you are going to consider in this lecture is, with the help of the Arrhenius equation, how we are going to identify activation energy, and this activation energy, this Arrhenius equation depends on the temperature, then how that particular effect of the temperature to find out this activation energy in the case of endothermic reaction and exothermic reactions. So before starting this unit number 2, first you are going to revise in the building block, that is unit number 1, what parameters you have studied. So in unit number 1 you have studied the mole balance, and with the help of the mole balance we have designed or we have sized the reactors, that is batch reactors, CSTRs, PFR. Then with the help of these design equations we have converted by substituting the value of XA, that is conversion. Then to find out the conversion for reactors which are arranged in series, that also you have studied. Suppose first reactor is plug flow reactor, second is CSTR, then how you are going to identify the conversion which are arranged in the series. So these points you have studied by taking the help of the mole balance. So this information is basically required in all the chapters. That is, the mole balance is the basic one, then sizing of the reactors, then the equations, design equations by considering the conversion parameter. So with the help of these particular 3 equations, we are going to study now how we are going to define the rate law and to find out the reaction orders. So this, in the first unit we are going to study the design equation in the differential form as well as the integral form. For the batch reactor we are having 1 by V dNA by dt, that is equal to minus RA, and to find out this we have substituted the value of dNA by dt, that is the moles in terms of X. So that's why we are going to get Na0 dx by dt equal to minus RA into V. In the batch reactor we are finding out how much time you require to complete that particular conversion. So we are going to get the integration here. T is equal to Na0 integral 0 to x, 0 to 50% means 0 to 0.5, 0 to 90% means 0 to 0.9. So how much time is required for 90% conversion, then how much time you required for 50% conversion, that you are going to identify in the batch reactor. Then CSTR, we are going to identify the volume to size that particular reactor, that is V is equal to Fa0x divided by minus RA. In PFR we are having the relation of Fa0 dx by dV equal to minus RA, and V is equal to Fa0 integral of 0 to x dx by 1 by RA. Similarly PBR, that is the catalytic reactor, it is replaced by V by W. W is the weight of the catalyst. So to find out the time in the batch reactor, to find out the volume of the reactor in PFR, to find out the volume of the weight of that particular catalyst which convert that particular reaction, that is in PBR, we are having the integration term with respect to the conversion 0 to x. So as we are having the integration to find out the conversion, we have studied the integral formulas also, that is trapezoidal rule, Simpson's rules, n number of points you are having, then for the integer, and that already you have studied that. So these equations you have to remember throughout the study of this particular theory. Then to size that particular reactor, in in almost all the reactions we are having the integration term that is related to 1 by minus RA. So we are going to plot a Levin-Spill plot to size that reactor or to find out the volume of the reactor. So the first diagram, it is shown that is FA0 1 by RA minus 1 by RA against conversion. So to find out the batch reactor volume, it is size here. So for the PFR or PBR, we are going to take the under the curve, whatever the volume is available, that is the volume of PFR. These reactors are arranged in series to find out the conversion. First reactor is CSTR, second reactor is PFR, again third is CSTR. So proper equations, design equations you have to use. If the location of the first reactor is CSTR, the design equation is different if the location of the CSTR is at third one. So you have to take care of that one because you have proved that one. For Vn, if you are having a number of reactors arranged in series for CSTR, what is that particular relation? So that relation you have to use. It is not similar to V1 is equal to V3. For V1 it is different, for V3 it is different. So we have to take care of this one. Then for the plug flow reactor, we are going to integrate. That is the exit stream of the first reactor, that is CSTR. That is the inlet of the PFR, and outlet, that is X2. Means we are going to integrate from 0.2 to 0.6. In between how many number of points are available, you can directly use the integral formula and find out the volume of the reactor. So this way, already you have studied this one. This is the revision of this unit number 1. This is shown in the diagram. First is the CSTR. From the diagram itself we understand. Then area under the curve, that is PFR. Then again it is square. Then this is again CSTR. So this way we have find out the volume of the reactors arranged in series. Now this actually you are going to start the chapter number 2, that is unit number 2, chapter 3 from the Fogler. So that is how we are going to identify the rate of that reaction. To find out the rate of the reaction, first you are going to identify the order of the reaction. So if you are going to consider a rate minus R is equal to K Ca raised to alpha into Cb raised to alpha. This alpha is order with respect to A, beta is order with respect to B, and overall reaction order is addition of alpha and beta. Reciprocal of the concentration, that defines the order of the reaction. So with reference to A, with respect to A, the order of the reaction is alpha, concentration raised to alpha. Then with reference to, with respect to B, it is order of the reaction is beta. Then total order, that is the overall order, we can say overall reaction order is addition of this alpha and beta. That is alpha plus beta is the overall order of the reaction. Sometimes they are going to ask with reference to A, what is the order of reaction, with reference to B, what is the order of reaction, or sometimes they are going to ask what is the overall order of the reaction. 3 questions are you are going to get here. So you have to remember that what questions asked in the examination. With reference to the order of the reaction is alpha, with reference to the order of the reaction is beta, and overall means total order is alpha plus beta. If alpha is equal to 1, beta is equal to 1, then overall order is 1 plus 1, that is 2. If alpha is 2, beta is 1, then overall order is 2 plus 1, that is 3. Consider the reaction. Now to define the rate law. Consider the reaction in general, twice A plus B, that is 3C. From this reaction you can very immediately identify what is the order of the reaction. You can say it is 3, 2 plus 1, stoichiometric coefficient, concentration raised to stoichiometric coefficient, and addition of that one, that is the overall order of the reaction. Then with reference to A it is second order, with reference to B it is first order, but you have to remember that if you have to mention if it is an elementary reaction. For non-elementary reactions, you have to write down the mechanism and whatever the order you are going to get, that you have to identify. So the rate law, how it is defined for this particular general reaction, twice A plus B, that is twice C. A reactor follows an elementary rate. Elementary rate is important. Elementary rate law if the reaction order just happens to agree with the stoichiometric coefficient for the reaction as written. For example, if the above reaction follows an elementary rate law, then minus RA. How you are going to write? Minus RA means rate of disappearance of A, minus RA equal to Ka with reference to A means we are going to write down the rate constant, that is Ka. Ca raised to stoichiometric coefficient of A, that is 2, into Cb into stoichiometric coefficient of B, that is 1. So second order with respect to A and first order with respect to B, and the overall order is 2 plus 1, that is 3. So this way we are going to identify this is the third order reaction overall, second order with reference to A and first order with respect to B. So this way you have to read very rightly, you have to write down the rate of disappearance of A minus R equal to K A. Then same reaction, generally 2A plus B, that gives thrice C. If minus R equal to K Ca square, this means Cb raised to 0. Any power raised to 0 is 1. So that's why it is not mentioned here. So but it is in the question, what is the order of B if it is asked, then you have to answer that one very properly. Second order in A, 0 order in B, because they have not considered the concentration. Concentration raised to 0 means maybe it is in the ample case, maybe water or nitrogen blanketing. That case we are going to neglect the concentration of the B if it is in the excess quantity. So maybe in the reaction, suppose they are going to consider this is the excess quantity available. So that's why they have not considered Cb raised to 1. They have considered Cb raised to 0. Means the order of the reaction with reference to B, it is 0. Therefore overall order of the reaction is 2 plus 0, that is 2. Similarly, how to write down the rate of A, B and C? We are having how many species in this reaction? 3 species. Two species are from the reactant side, 1 species from the product side. Then now we are going to write reactant side means it is going to disappear. A has to disappear, B has to disappear, means minus Ra minus Rb. C has to form, means plus Rc. So we are going to write down the rate equations, that is called as the rate laws. Minus Ra is equal to, with reference to minus Ra equal to Ka Ca raised to 2 into Cb raised to its stoichiometric coefficient 1. Similarly, minus Rb equal to Kb Ca raised to square into Cb. Similarly, for the formation of C, that's why it is plus Rc. You can have practice to write down the plus so that you are not going to confuse it. Minus means disappearance. A and B are disappearing, that's why it is minus Ra and minus Rb. C is going to form, so you can mention plus Rc equal to Kc. Concentration means you are not going to write down Kc into Cc square, because Cc is going to form when if A and B is available, if A and B is going to react. So that's why rate of formation of C is also depends on concentration of reactant only. So that way you have to explain very carefully. Rate of disappearance of A also depends on concentration of reactant. Rate of disappearance of B also depends on concentration of the reactants available. Formation of C, that also depends on concentration of the reactant and not on the product. If the reactants are not available, then how you are going to write Rc equal to Kc into Cc square? Because A and B has to available, then and then it is formed. That's why Rc is also related to Kc into Ca square into Cb. So here there is a confusion, so you have to remember this point. Then you are going to study the another part. Just now you have studied the rate laws and order of the reaction, how you are going to identify. Now we are going to study the relative rate of the reaction, how that particular relative rate of the reactions are compared. In general, you are considering the reaction that is A plus B, that gives C plus D. Capital A, B, C, D are species of the reaction. Small a, b, c, d are stoichiometric coefficients. Now we are going to write down the relative rates. Relative rates means A and B are disappearing, means minus Ra minus Rb. C and D are going to form, means plus Rc plus Rd. So to compare that particular rates, we are going to write down the relative rates by taking help of the general equation, that is AA plus BB, that gives CC plus DD. So when you are going to write down the relative rates, we are going to divide this particular equation with limiting reactant. In the first unit you have studied What do you mean by limiting reactant? So consider A is a limiting reactant which controls the particular reaction for the conversion of A and B to C and D. So if you are going to consider small a as a limiting reactant, A is a limiting reactant, we are going to divide throughout the reaction by small a, its stoichiometric coefficient. So dividing throughout the reaction by stoichiometric coefficient of species A, that is small a. So we are going to get this particular reaction, A plus B by A into B, that gives C by A, C plus D by A into D. If you are having a B as a limiting reactant, then we are going to divide throughout the reaction by stoichiometric coefficient of B, that is small b. Then you are going to get A by B into A. Then B by B means 1 into B, C by B into C, D by B into D. So whatever limiting reactor you are going to consider, you have to mention here that considering the limiting reactant at species A and dividing throughout the reaction by B, then it is very easy to compare. So what is the stoichiometric coefficient of A? It is 1. So it is very easy to compare that one. So how we are going to compare the relative rates? Minus RA minus RB plus RC plus RD divided by minus RA into A equal to minus RB into B equal to plus RC into C plus RD into B, because it is going to fall. So this way it is going to write, that is the relative rates, how we are going to compare it. If you are going to compare RA with C, then consider these two, RA by A equal to RC by C. If you want to compare RB by B by D, then RB by B and RD by D, that you have to compare it, and the way you have to write. So here one example is given which clears here how we are going to relate that particular rates. Same equation, twice A plus B, that gives thrice C, and A minus R is given as 10 mole per decimeter cube per second. Then the relative rates for this particular reaction is A and B are disappearing, means minus RA and minus RB. Minus RA divided by coefficient, stoichiometric coefficient of A, that is 2, equal to RB is also disappearing, means minus RB divided by stoichiometric coefficient of B, that is minus 1. Then equal to C is going to fall, means plus RC, right, plus symbol, plus RC divided by stoichiometric coefficient of C, that is 3. So this way minus RA divided by 2 equal to minus RB divided by 1 equal to plus RC divided by 3. Then you can compare the way you required, the way it is asked in the examination. Suppose you are comparing RA and RB, then minus RB is equal to cross multiplication, you are going to get the answer as 5 by substituting minus RA equal to 10 value. This is very simple to compare. Any comparison you can do with the help of that one. If you are having a 4 parameters, 4 species, you can have the four comparisons. So that way you can identify by substituting this value is given here, minus R equal to 10. Sometimes they are asked in the objective questions. What is the value of minus RB? What is the value of plus RC? So as the minus RA is given, so you have to compare with the A and you have to identify what is the value of that plus RC. Then the third point you are going to study in this particular reaction, how to write down the reversible elementary reaction. This is also a very easier one, but you have to remember, you have to take care which concentration you are going to consider it. Reversible elementary reaction. The way just now we have studied, all are elementary irreversible reaction. Elementary word is very, very important. If it is non-elementary, then every mechanism is going to change how to write down our order of the reaction. So that's why very clearly mentioned reversible elementary reaction. For that, consider the reaction twice A plus B, that gives thrice C over a rate constant of Ka and K minus A. K is the forward rate constant. K minus A is reverse rate constant. First you write down separately these two reactions. One is forward reaction, another is reverse reaction. So we are going to write down first reaction 2A plus B over the rate constant of Ka, that gives thrice C. This is the first reaction. Then second reaction, write down thrice C, that gives twice A plus B. Suppose you ask, write down the overall rate of disappearance of A. Overall rate of disappearance of A. What happens to the first reaction? Twice A plus B, that gives twice C. A is going to disappear. So that's why it is minus RA. Minus RA. Then overall means you have to consider both the reaction, because reverse reaction also that gives A. So second reaction is thrice C, that gives twice A plus B. In the second reaction, what happens to A? It is going to fall, means plus RA. Plus RA symbol, you have to remember plus and minus, and then you have to equal it. Addition of the both forward and reverse reaction, that gives net rate of A. So first you have written the minus RA is equal to Ka Ca square plus into Cb. That is for the first reaction. In the second reaction, what happens? A is going to fall, means plus RA. Plus RA equal to, it depends on concentration of C. C here. What is the reaction? Thrice C, that gives twice A plus B. So C is going to react for the formation of A and B in the reverse reaction. Rate constant is different, K minus A. So take care of that one. So plus RA is equal to, it is going to form, equal to, it is going to form K minus A Cc cube, because this is on the reactant side now in the reversible reaction. Then addition of that one, that gives minus RA equal to Ka Ca square into Cb minus change of sign K minus A Cc cube. So you have to remember that, split up the reaction, because you are having a two reaction to avoid the confusion. Then write down the rate. In the first, write down the rate of reaction for A. A means in the first case it is going to disappear. In the second case it is going to fall. But see that one. Rate is directly proportional to the concentration of the reactant. If you are going to remember this particular basic, then very easy to write down the rate. So we have written here Ca square and Cb and Cc cube. These are the concentration of the on the reactant side with reference to forward reaction and reverse reaction. So if you have written very carefully this particular equilibrium reaction, after attaining the equilibrium, at equilibrium forward rate equal to reverse rate. So that's why we are going to consider this Cc cube. Now the simple mathematics, we have taken that Ka common, then you are going to get capital Ka. If you are going to take Ka common, you are going to get this term Ca square Cb minus Cc cube divided by this particular ratio of Ka divided by K minus A. Substituting with equilibrium constant, that is capital Ke. This particular ratio is called as equilibrium constant. As we are going to study the reversible reaction, in the reversible reaction, we are having the ratio of forward reaction and reverse reaction. Ratio of rate constant of forward reaction and reversible reaction, that we are going to substitute with equilibrium constant, that is Ke. So this particular term you are going to get, and where K is equal to Ka divided by K minus. So this way we are going to identify the units of that one. Reaction is first order in A, second order in B, overall third order reaction. These are some examples of the first order rate law, second order rate law. Then third example is given as non-elementary rate law. If you are going to compare first order rate law and second order rate law, they have written the rate law by considering the reactions are elementary one. If you are going to compare these rates with reference to non-elementary, this is not directly related to the concentration raised to the power. That is called as order of the reaction. Here 3/2, but stoichiometric coefficient is 1. So it is not directly related to the stoichiometric coefficient. But in the elementary case, what happens to the order of the reaction? It is directly related to the stoichiometric coefficient of the reactant. Maybe it is reactant or product, stoichiometric coefficient of the species, you may say. So as it is related to the stoichiometric coefficient of the particular species. So that comes under the elementary case in general, we can say. And the reactions which are not coming directly stoichiometric order of the reaction, that are non-elementary reactions. Compare this. So for exercise, you can compare this elementary and non-elementary. In one of the chapters, we are going to learn how to develop or how to prove this particular rate for the respective elementary reaction. So for that, we are going to write down the mechanism, the way you have heard. As you are in the final year, you know that the mechanism of the reaction is not A plus B that gives C plus D. So mechanism, in general, we are having the 3 steps, that is initiation, propagation and termination in general. Maybe in the initiation you are having 2 steps, maybe in the propagation you are having 3 steps, maybe in the termination you are having 1 step. Then another point you are going to study, that is Arrhenius equation. This is a very common equation. I think you have studied in the 12th standard also, in physical chemistry also. So Arrhenius equation, it depends on the temperature of the reaction. To find out this particular energy of that particular activation energy, we are going to perform the experiments of the particular reaction with reference to the temperatures. At different temperatures, whatever the conversion you are going to get it. So with the help of that particular conversion, you are going to identify the value of K. And then K you are going to plot again that particular temperature to get that particular activation energy. This activation energy may be different in the case of endothermic reaction, in the case of exothermic reaction. Just now I have told it is temperature dependent. So here small k is the specific reaction rate constant. Small k is the specific reaction rate constant and is given by Arrhenius equation. So remember this Arrhenius equation, small k equal to A into e raised to minus e by RT. K is equal to A into e raised to power minus e by RT. E is the activation energy, R is the ideal gas constant, T is the temperature in Kelvin. So here it is mentioned that one, if you are going to plot K against T, in the next slide it is shown, you are going to identify activation energy. So to plot that particular graph, you have to take a logarithm of both the sides. That is ln k is equal to ln of A minus e by R, e by RT, that is 1 by T. So you have to plot a plot of ln of K against 1 by T, reciprocal of temperature. So that gives the activation energy, that is shown in the next slide. So where in that particular Arrhenius equation, E is the activation energy in calorie mole, R is gas constant, calorie mole degree Kelvin, remember this temperature, that we have to convert the temperature. T is temperature in Kelvin, A is frequency factor, same as units of rate constant. Just now I have told you to find out the energy of activation, you have to take a log on both the sides to that particular equation, that is ln k equal to ln of A minus e by R 1 by T. Then compare with straight line equation, y equal to mx plus c. Your slope is minus e by R, y equal to mx plus c. So that's why your slope is minus e by R, not only e by R. Take care of this minus e by R, you are going to forget this, because you are going to compare it y equal to mx plus c. So that's why your slope is here minus e by R. So that's from that particular slope you are going to identify activation energy by substituting the value of gas constant in the respective unit. ln Ka. So this K you are going to identify with reference to temperatures. It is not direct reading of that one. At one temperature you are going to perform the conversion at one temperature. Another temperature you are going to identify the conversion. Third temperature you are going to identify the conversion. Minimum 3 temperatures are required to plot the graph. So after performing the experiment, you can perform, or whatever the experiments you are perform in the laboratory, try to find out the activation energy the way you are perform in the chemistry. You are going to note down only the conversions. After that one, you can continue that particular experiment to find out the activation and how much energy you require for that particular conversion. So now you have studied the conversion equations that gives the value of K. By taking help of that K value, you can very easily find out, because we know the rate dc by dt. By knowing the rate of that particular, you can very easily find out the conversion. Once you know known the conversion, you can find out the k value. I will take in detail how that particular experiments are performed to find out that k value. So many experiments I have performed in my MTech and PhD work to find out this particular energy of the particular reaction, if it is in the gas phase, if it is in the liquid phase. All the reactions what I have studied, that is on temperature dependence. So we have to plot the graph, that is ln k, logarithmic scale of y-axis divided by reciprocal of temperature, that is in Kelvin. 1 by T, that's why it is k minus 1. The slope of the reaction is minus E by R, and then note down what is the value of E. This is the activation energy. Depending upon activation energy, everyone you are aware about that one, law of mass action. Depending upon the collision and temperature, concentration of the reactant and the respective temperatures. This is the way they are mentioned here. Law of mass action. The rate of reaction increases. This is important. The rate of reaction increases with increasing concentration of reactants, owing to the corresponding increase in the number of molecular collision. Molecular collision is going to happen because you are going to heat that particular reactant, temperature dependent just now. So definitely there are collision of the molecules. So depending upon the molecular collision, so minus RA depends on temperature, that is the rate constant Ka, and the function of the concentrations. It says that every 10 degree rise in the temperature, the reaction rate doubles, but not in the every case. Not in the every case. But in rough, we say that every 10 degree rise in temperature, it doubles the rate, but not happens in every cases. Sometimes it reverse. So you are going to optimize that particular condition when it is going to reverse side. So you are going to identify the optimum temperature of that particular reaction. The rate of reaction, very important word, law of mass action. The rate of reaction increases with increasing concentration, function of concentration of reactants, owing to the corresponding increase in the number of molecular collision. Number of molecular collision. Depending upon that, the reaction rate is going to increase. That's why we increase the temperatures to speed up the reaction. Then automatically molecular collision also increase, and we say that the rate of reaction increases. Second point in this law of mass action, the rate of disappearance of A, that is minus RA, depends on temperature and concentration. The above it is measured, temperature and concentration. Rate of disappearance of A. For many irreversible reaction, it can be written as the product of reaction rate constant, the way you are written minus RA equal to K into Ca, and a function of the concentration, that is activities of the various species involved in the reaction. Suppose you are having A, B and C, then it depends on concentration of AB and concentration of C. The way it is written here, minus RAB equal to KB. AB is the one reactant, C is the another reactant. So it depends on concentration of AB and concentration of C. This way, this is the schematic collision of cross section of the collision. What happens if you are going to increase the temperatures, collision of the molecules. Take any example of the heat transfer, and you can take the liquid. It is going to boil, means the collisions are going to happen. Why is there an activation energy? We can ask the same question to everyone of us. Why is there an activation energy? We see that for the reaction to occur, the reactants must overcome an energy barrier. Some force is required. So here you are going to provide the heating of that one, or activation energy. We see that for the reaction to occur, the reactants must overcome an energy barrier. So in the form of heat, we are providing the energy. The energy to overcome their barrier comes from the transfer of kinetic energy, from molecular collision to internal energy, vibrational energy. The molecules need energy to desert or stretch their bonds in order to break them and thus form new bonds. As the reacting molecules come close together, they must overcome both steric and electronic repulsion forces in order to react. The next diagram is very easy, you can understand this one. So this is A plus BC. BC is one reactant, A is one reactant. This is the reactant side. This one is the product side. In the product side, you are going to get AB plus C. This is a change in B is going to attach to the A. So you are going to get AB plus C. But to get that particular one, this particular reactant has to reach this much energy. This much energy is required for the conversion of that one BC, that particular, to break that particular bond. This transition state they have to achieve. To achieve this transition state, how much energy they require, that you are going to identify. In the form of maybe heat, we can say that on the arrow of that particular reaction, suppose you have mentioned the 70 degree. How to find out the 70 degree? It is not a very simple to find out or mention the 70 degree centigrade. So many experiments you have to perform it, and then you can say that the transition state is going to achieve at 70 degree centigrade and the conversion is going to start. We say that the reactant is going to consume. This is going to break the bond, maybe due to collision, and formation of this another going to take place. If at 70 degrees centigrade, we can identify at 70 degrees centigrade, this is a breakage of that one. Below that one, it is not going to reach this particular, what it is mentioned, that is potential energy for the conversion of this particular. That's why it is mentioned here, that is energy barrier. Energy barrier is important. One diagram, this is here mentioned, that is reactants and products. This is transition state. This state is transition state, that is the complex one. So this way, for endothermic reaction and for exothermic reaction, the energy barrier is different, because we know that delta H is required, plus for exothermic reaction it is negative for endothermic reaction. So this way, these 4 or 5 things we have learned in this particular chapter. We are going to continue in the next lecture. Maybe we are going to prepare the stoichiometric table. Thank you.